All right. So one very important thing when, or actually before you even start running a pay-per-click advertising campaign, is to know whether or not it's viable, whether it's a great idea. Do you know how much volume there is in your area where you're in, whether you're in Brooklyn or Chicago or St. Louis or Miami, Florida or Dayton, Ohio? You need to know your numbers. How much volume is there? How much opportunity is there? What's the impression share like? What are the costs per clicks in that area? How much is it going to cost per conversion? What's the conversion rate? What's your conversion rate if you're running the campaigns yourself? If you're dealing with a marketing agency, feel free to ask them, what is your average, conversion rate if you're running a campaign. If you get these numbers, you can tell right off the bat before you engage with an agency or company, or before you endeavor to do the campaigns yourself. I'm sorry about that. Before you endeavor to do the campaigns yourself, what numbers need to be adjusted or tweaked or optimized, right? Okay, so how much am I paying per click? If you look into the area, or your agency PPC specialist says, yeah, we're getting clicks for about $50. I was like, okay, well, what's your conversion rate? What's your monthly average conversion rate? Oh, it's 20%. So, okay, 20%. That means that in order for me to get one telephone call a day, if my leads are, if my clicks are $50, I need at least five. Clicks. Okay, 5 clicks at $50 is $250 a day. Okay, so let's do some quick math. All right, pull out my little trusty calculator here. Okay, we're gonna go $50. Let's say you may or may not want to run campaigns on the weekend. Some attorneys run them 24/7. They just have the budget for it, even though there's no one really there to man the phones and take the calls. But let's just be conservative and say that you're only going to run your ads from your from the opening of your practice daily to the closing of your practice on a 5-day work week. So let's just say 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 20 times $250 a day to get one lead. So that's 250 times 5 days a week. That's $1,250 a week times 4 weeks. And this is just basic math. That's $5,000 a month in ad spend, right? For an ad spend budget. Okay. And from that, you're looking to get one telephone call a day average. Now, so how many calls are we getting? Obviously, this is 20 calls, right? One call a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks throughout the month. So now I need to know what my conversion rate is as a bankruptcy attorney, as a bankruptcy practice, right? So, or if you have someone closing for you, what's their closing ratio? If they got 10 leads this week, how many were they able to close, or how many are they able to close on average? Okay. And the average in our industry, what we've seen is 20%. Not bad, but definitely can be improved. And we have helped attorneys improve that number. But that basically says that out of 10 leads that come your way, 2 will be converted into either a Chapter 7 petition or a Chapter 13 petition. This gives us a lot of good information to say, okay, well, Mr. Agency Man, you're saying that I'm going to spend $5,000 in ads and I'm going to get 20 leads and my conversion rate is 20%. So that's basically going to be 4 petitions. Okay. It's going to be 4 petitions a month. If they're all Chapter 7, we can multiply that times the total revenue, or you can multiply it by either gross or net, but let's just simple math, gross revenue. Let's just say it's $1,400. Okay. So $1,400, let's do this quick math. 4 times 1,400 equals $5,600. So I definitely have a return on my ad spend. Okay. Now, there are a couple things we need to talk about here. Okay. So because some of you are like, that's not worth it. Right. So a couple things you need to, we need to address. First of all, although all of the leads that came into your pipeline did not convert that month, does not mean that those leads will not later convert. Just the nature of our business or our industry. So let's just think about it. There could be, they have to wait until they just sold a house not long ago and they have to wait until 6 months or whatever until they qualify to file bankruptcy, or they're waiting to file their income taxes, or they're waiting on whatever, right? So they're in your pipeline. You're continuing, if you continue to work those leads, nurture those leads, then when they're ready, those could actually be petitions filed, right? So remember, 20 leads are coming in. Some of those are obviously not going to file a petition, but some are just maturing. They're just not ready. They're not necessarily bad leads. They're just not ready right now. And sometimes we'll say 3 to 6 months down the road, on average, that's when you start to see those leads that came into the pipeline, those 3 or 6 months prior, starting to resurface, right? And so those are still opportunities. Those are not opportunities lost. Okay, so that's first of all. Now, second of all of the numbers that resulted in your return on investment being a little over 100% can be adjusted. These are performance key metric, key performance indicators. So your cost per click, okay, that it's $50 cost per click. As an agency, can the agency reduce the cost per click? Definitely. Cost per clicks can definitely be reduced. How do you reduce your cost per click? You make your ads, make your ads more appealing. That means you get more clicks. Google charges you less because you have a great quality score. They're seeing that your ads are relevant. More people are clicking on it. So they're going to either penalize people that don't have really relevant ad copy, or reward you for having great ad copy. So having good ad copy helps. Having a really great landing page that's optimized for conversions really helps, because that means that if I can get more people to call me from the number of people that are hitting my website, then I'm going to pay less per lead. And if I pay less per lead, I'm going to get more leads. And if I get more leads, even if I keep my same conversion rate as an attorney, as far as closing the deal, I'll still make more money. So let's think about this as well. Now, if we're working on both ends to increase these performance indicators, I'm holding my whoever's doing my pay-per-click advertising, I'm holding them accountable to get that cost per lead down or cost per click down, and I'm holding myself accountable to close more deals. I'm working to get better at getting chapter 7s and or chapter 13s filed. And once you build out a system, a process to consistently increase your performance, then the numbers just get better and better. And remember, your pipeline is still getting filled up each month. So let me just give you guys an example. What if the average cost per click goes from $50 to $25? That means you have just closed 8 petitions from the same ad spend, right? All of the numbers double, because now instead of you getting 20 leads, you're going to get 40 leads. Right? Because you have more leads for the cost of your money. And instead of you closing even if your closing ratio stays the same at 20%, now you're closing 8 deals. And obviously that's a really good return on your investment, and your pipeline, again, is still being filled with those leads that are going to mature later on. Now, let's just say you work to get one more client a month, right? So you every 10 clients. So you increase, let's just say you got 10 clients or you got 2 clients, let's say 2. So your conversion rate is 20% and we bump it up to 30%. You're already closing 4. Let's just go back to the first number. You're closing 4. Now we're going to take that 20 leads and we're going to say, hey, what if the marketing agency don't get any better and they're staying at 20% conversion rate as far as converting visitors into lead, and their cost per click is still $50. All right. So you're still getting those 20 leads, but your conversion rate is not 20%, it's 30%. So we're going to multiply that those 20 leads times 30. And now you have just went from closing 4 leads to closing 6 leads, right? Now, is that a dramatic difference? Yes. Every lead you close, your return on investment just compounds, right, on top of that. So let's take a look at our a really cool tool that we developed called the estimated performance calculator. I'll just share my screen here in a second. Okay. Okay, cool. Right. So this is the estimated performance calculator, and these are our inputs. Okay. So these are the cost per click on the low end, the high end, and these will vary depending on where you're located at. Okay. So let's just say that you're located in Chicago. All right, let's just refresh this. Wait for this to pop up. Seems like I'm always waiting forever for Google. That's fine. Okay. So as we can see here, let's go back to this forecast. So we're targeting Chicago, Illinois. You want to make sure that you're targeting where that traffic is going to come from. You don't want to target the entire United States. And this is going to give you an idea of how much volume there is in your particular area. But let's just say that we're doing a forecast for someone that's in Chicago. Okay, so right off the bat, here are some keywords. Here are some keywords that we want to target in running our campaigns. And what we can see here is an average cost per click in this particular area. And if you guys can look, let's just sort it really quick. So anywhere between $13 and $28 average cost per click. Now, if we go back here, when I was doing my little keyword research, we can see here the top of the page bid and the low page bid. So on the lower end, we're looking at about $20. Some clicks are just super low, but let's just say we're looking at an average of $20 to, on the high end, $51 a click. Okay, $20 to $51 a click. Let's go back here. I'm sorry. And because I know how much I'm going to be paying average, and again, these numbers can be, worked on and improved, but I'm just going to give a rough estimate. So our cost per click is going to range between $25 and $50. Our average conversion rate is 30%. If your conversion rate is less than 20%, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement there. But let's just say 30%. You get this number from, and this is really great if you guys are thinking about or considering hiring someone to do your pay-per-click advertising. Really great question. Ask them what their conversion rate is, or what's the estimated conversion rate. and how much they're looking to pay per click. And that's going to tell you how much you're going to be paying per lead. Really great information to have before you hire a marketing agency to do your pay-per-click advertising. Now, another thing that's really important, some really good data points to have, is your conversion rate. How are you closing, right? We just spoke about that. And the average cost per client, the average revenue per client. So for chapter 7, we know that it can range anywhere between, $1,100 to $1,500. Let's just say that that was $1,400, like we said earlier. I'm sorry. Let's do that again. $1,400, and you have an average closing ratio of 20%. These are our inputs, and obviously this is the output. These are the this is the output right here, and here are the number of impressions we have, and we can get those impressions by pretty much, again, making sure that we have our targeted area here, and Google is going to tell us how much volume we have, how much opportunity there is. And it's just going to be, for the most part, based upon how much you are able to spend. So let's just say conservatively, we have about 5,000. Let's go a little bit less than that. Okay. Around $3,500 in ad spend. We're looking to get about 41 conversions based on the data that we have from Google on the cost per click and maybe the click-through rate and some other factors, right? And this is also factoring in a 20% conversion rate, which I've already put in. These are conversions. Now, if we look at clicks, sorted by clicks, we can see how many clicks we're able to get as well. We can get 200 clicks for about $3,500, and that's going to be an average of $88 per lead, 41 conversions. So Google gives us a really good keyword estimate tool to kind of forecast what we are going to be paying. Now, we take it a little bit further and we break it all the way down. So you guys are really going to like this. So based upon that, let's just say $3,500 ad spend, we're also going to factor in the cost of doing business with an agency. A lot of agencies, they only take responsibility for bringing you the lead, and then they pass it off like an orphan baby at your doorstep, and you have to work that lead until it becomes a until it becomes a client. So we're going to say that it's $1,500 for your for management fees. Okay, so $1,500 for management fees, $3,500 for ad spend. That's $5,000 a month in your costs, right? That's $5,000 a month in expenses to run your pay-per-click advertising campaign. Is it worth it? That's the question. Is it worth it? Well, let's take a look. Average cost per click, we have a $3,500 budget. Average cost per click is between $25 to $50. If we're just getting clicks at around $25, then we're going to get 140 visitors and an estimated 42 leads. Okay, from the if we are able to manage our cost per clicks and keep them down to $25, and we're still maintaining a 30% conversion rate, we can look to get 42 leads. And the cost per click, the cost per lead is around $83.33. With those numbers, you're looking to get 8 petitions filed if you maintain a 20% conversion rate. So from every 10 leads, you close 2, you look to get about 8 petitions filed out of those 42 petitions. Now, here's your cost per petition, just in case you guys want to know how much am I paying to actually close a deal, close a client, and close a prospect and turn them to a client. How much is my acquisition cost? Okay. Estimated net revenue. Your estimated net revenue is $11,760 if you're charging $1,400 for a Chapter 7. And again, this is the worst case scenario because we are only factoring in Chapter 7 cases. We're not even factoring in Chapter 13 cases. We're not even factoring in how some of these leads are going to mature later on down the pipeline because you still got 42 people reached out to you. Let's not sleep on that. You have 42 people that have not just searched a generic keyword like bankruptcy or debt, right? But if you're dealing with someone that knows what they're doing, but they're targeting keywords like best bankruptcy attorney in Chicago, or emergency bankruptcy filing, or how much does bankruptcy cost? All of these are bottom of the funnel search queries of people that have pretty much done their research and made up their mind that they want to file bankruptcy. And now they're just choosing they're trying to see who they're going to choose to file that bankruptcy petition for them. Okay. And if you're targeting these prospects, then you're more likely to close more deals either now or in the foreseeable future. Okay, let's look at the return on ad spend. Now, again, most people will only talk about return on ad spend and not actual return on your investment. And we're going to touch on both right now. Okay, so a ROAS is return on ad spend. Okay, it means what's my percentage that I'm making on top of how much I've invested in Google or in Facebook or in Martindale or in Martindale Nolo, or in whatever avenue of advertising you're doing. What's my return on my investment for that particular channel? Okay. Now, as opposed to your estimated monthly return on investment, and investment includes what? Am I paying any additional managing fees? Am I paying processing fees? Am I paying for software? Am I paying for? So all of this is going into your return on your investment. So your investment is $5,000 a month in this scenario. Okay. So your return on investment is 235.2% if all of these numbers align. If we have a 30% conversion rate and we're getting cost per clicks at around $25, which is really not that hard to do if you're hands-on into the account. If you're not every day into the account, optimizing it, making sure you're taking a look at certain search queries that are coming in that is definitely not relevant to you making money, and getting those out of the account and putting in negative keywords to make sure that type of bad traffic don't come into the account, then you can be sure that you can see these numbers as well, and even better. Okay, so let's go down to the estimated additional monthly revenue. Additional monthly revenue from your pay-per-click campaign is $6,760. Okay. And your 12-month additional revenue is $141,120 under this scenario with these numbers working. Now, let's just say on the higher end, we're looking, your marketing, your pay-per-click specialist or your agency you are getting clicks for $50, right? On the higher end. And trust me, I've seen clicks at around $100, over $100. But average, you're supposed to be around $50 in your market. If we're looking at what Google is saying our cost per click is, on average, we should look at the most a $50 average cost per click. So that means that if I'm spending $3,500 and I'm paying $50 a click, I can look to get about 70 clicks, 70 visitors to my landing page. And once they get to my landing page, it's my landing page's job to convert those visitors into telephone calls or form submissions or chat requests, into communication, right? Into contact. Okay. And if that happens, I'm looking at about 21 leads. And of the 21 leads, my average cost per lead, if I'm only getting 21 leads from my $3,500, is $166.67. You can still make money with those numbers. Okay. Now, but it's not optimum, right? So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But still, let's look at that. You're still maintaining a 20% closing ratio as an attorney, as a practice. And so you're closing 4 deals out of that $3,500 a month. Let me tell you this. One of our clients has less than $3,500 in ad spend, and this is the end of the month in July, and just closed 9 just filed 9 petitions, right? So I'm telling you, it's definitely possible. So this is on the low end. If you are closing at 20% and you're maintaining a $50 cost per click, and your conversion rate is around 30%, these are your worst case scenario numbers. If you get below these numbers, it's going to look kind of bad. You may be in the red, okay? But with these numbers, you're going to be looking at $833.33 as a cost per acquisition to acquire a Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 client. As what does this look like in terms of revenue? That means from your monthly investment, you're looking to get $5,888 back that month. Estimated monthly return on ad spend, 168%. Not bad. But again, we're more concerned about what's our return on investment. And right here, we're looking at 117.6% return on investment. And to me, even though that's nearly $1,000, to me, that's our break-even number. If I'm talking to someone and I'm looking at the fact that we are possibly at a break even, that's a good thing for me, because that means that I can take the responsibility and take accountability for getting my numbers right and getting my numbers better. I can get this $50 down to $25 or lower, right? That's going to give me more visitors. That's going to give me more leads. That's going to give you the opportunity to close more cases, okay? And I can also hold my clients responsible for getting those conversion rates up. Okay, what are we doing? Where are we seeing bottlenecks in our funnel, in our pipeline? Are people not being followed up with? Hey, let's get those calls back. Are we missing calls? Hey, let's get somebody on the phone that's going to answer the call. Are we not making appointments for the people that are calling in and we're not able to take those calls? Let's start setting up some sort of strategy to start booking appointments on our calendar. There's a lot, I'm sorry, kind of tongue twisted today. There's a lot of room for opportunity once everything starts to get going, and especially if you're measuring everything, because what gets measured gets done. Okay. So if you guys would like a copy of this estimated performance calculator, just let me know. And if you need anything else that may come up, maybe you've heard of a resource that you would like to have, 9 times out of 10, I have it, and I'll be more than willing to give it to you. And just, let me know in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys later.